Hey there everybody, it's Linnea for ThermOWeb, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use Deco Foil 2 ways to create a quick Valentine's Day card for grandparents, specifically for my dad, so my son's grandpa. And this card is kind of tailored towards my family, but I think you can definitely take the ideas and techniques I'm going to show you and gear it towards somebody special in your life. So let's get started. I'm starting with one of my favorite ThermOWeb products, the iCraft Easy Cut 6x6 adhesive sheets. Anytime I am creating a quick card, I feel like I'm grabbing for these Easy Cut adhesive sheets. It's a great way to cover a full background and create an awesome, stunning background effect on your cards. So I peeled back the adhesive backer and covered a full sheet of heavyweight cardstock with the Easy Cut adhesive sheet. Now I'm taking some foils. This one here is it's red Deco Foil, and I crunched it up. I cut off a piece. This is a great way too to use up your spare pieces of foil. And I crunched it up so you're gonna get this kind of distressed effect. And I'm just gonna press it onto my card. Now you can see there that I kind of have the looks of fingerprints, and that's just because I was pushing down with my fingers there. In the end, you're really not going to be able to see that because I'm going to just cover up my panel. Now, as the foil is removed from the backer sheet, that clear kind of backer sheet on the Deco Foil, that is going to want to stick to the adhesive that's on the card. So you might have to give it a little tug, but it didn't hurt my cardstock panel at all. So I'm going to continue on here with another color of Deco Foil sheets. This one is the Enchanted Rose, and so I'm just kind of doing the same thing, crinkling it up and pulling it off my card. You could skip the crinkling it up, but I think crinkling it up helps to kind of blend the colors together because then you're getting nice overlap and the colors are kind of going in between each other. I'm finishing up here with my last color of Deco Foil Transfer Sheets. This one is the Silver Stars, one of my favorites. Now you can see here that I kind of have some little spots that didn't transfer completely. I'm just going to go in with the Deco Foil adhesive pen and fill in those areas a little bit. I do want to have some white showing through, so like this big one here, I'm just kind of covering the top of it and then just kind of filling in here and there. There's another big one down in the bottom right. But all I'm doing is just using this adhesive pen and just kind of dotting the adhesive on. That way as well I'm going to get more of a distressed look rather than just kind of coloring it fully. Now here is another trick that I have. I might have, and in fact I do have, some spots where foil didn't transfer completely because I wasn't transferring a whole Deco Foil adhesive sheet on this. I was dabbing on those individual colors of foil. So I just took my embossing buddy, like what you would use before you heat emboss, and rubbed it all over my background. And that's going to apply powder to wherever I have white spots peeking through where there's adhesive from that Easy Cut adhesive sheet showing through, so you won't have a sticky background anywhere that you may have missed foiling. Okay, so here is where my card is kind of tailor-made for my family. One of the things that my son loves to do with my dad is make homemade pizza, and it's something that I used to do as a kid with my dad too. My dad has a pizza dough recipe that he has tweaked over the years, and so it's something that I used to love doing with my dad, and now my son loves doing with my dad. Anytime my son goes over to my parents' house and spends the night or has like a birthday or something, they make pizza together. So this is going to be a Valentine's Day for Grandpa with pizza. You can definitely take the techniques on this background and use any kind of image on top. So if you ride bikes with your grandpa, if you like to garden or whatever, you can use whatever images you like on top of this card. But I went with pizza. So this is the Lawn Fawn Pizza My Heart stamp set. Love this stamp set because you can totally customize your own pizza. So I stamped this large round pizza image along with that line to cut the pizza into pieces. And you can see here, I clearly don't know how to cut a pizza into equal pieces because those pieces are not equal at all. Now I'm going to go ahead and embellish with the stamps in the stamp set. My dad has a handlebar mustache, so I thought this little mustache smiley face was perfect for my card. I'm also going to embellish with some little pieces of pepperoni. That's another thing that my son and my dad love to do together. They get a big stick of pepperoni and they cut it up, and it's always a joke that my son will eat half the roll or half the stick of pepperoni before it's time to even put it on the pizza. Once all those images are colored, I'm going to use the coordinating dies to cut them out. So I'm using some 1/2 inch purple tape to just adhere these dies down onto the paper. Then I'll run them through my die cutting machine. Remember that the new formula of purple tape is pressure activated, so you want to give that a little bit of press, or a little bit of pressure rather, and press that down onto your cardstock, and you won't have any slippage of the tape. Now, I thought about performing some stamp surgery, but instead I'm going to just kind of leave the stamps as is, but still customize my own sentiment. So I'm stamping out "No matter how you slice it, you're the greatest." And then I'm going to use the Lawn Fawn Milo's ABC stamp set to create the word grandpa. I love alphabet stamp sets because you can make any sentiment you want, and so being able to add that little grandpa on there totally customizes it for my dad. Now, I thought this background, as I started to kind of mess around with how I wanted to put the pieces on top, it was busy, and the pizza was just not meshing with the background the way that it had in my head. So, no problem, I took this background, this foiled background, over to my paper trimmer, and I do a trick that I do a lot of times anytime I have a busy background. I chopped it in half on a diagonal. That gives me some white space and a little bit of break in the card. Now, I did say in the beginning that we're going to have 2 ways to foil on this card, and we are just hang on tight, because in the end, I ended up not loving all of the white space. I wanted a little bit of a break, but I didn't end up loving it. And I think that's something that kind of happens to a lot of us. I see a lot online about people saying that things don't come together the way they want in their head. So I really do encourage you to, even if you have your card completed like I did, to tear it apart, which sounds terrible, but trust me, it looks awesome in the end. So I'm going to use a bunch of ThermOWeb adhesives to complete my project. For now. I'm going to be using some iCraft Ultra Bond liquid adhesive. It's my favorite strong liquid adhesive, as well as some of my favorite foam squares. So I'm using iCraft 3D foam squares, which are just squares, and then the 3D foam strips, and that's what I'm opening now. These are amazing for adhering sentiment strips. It's the same strong foam adhesive that's in the squares, just in strip form. Now the strips were a little bit too thick for what I needed, so I'm just going to trim that in half, and then I will just add those onto my card, just lining up those sentiments and getting them straight underneath my pizza. Okay, so like I said, I thought my card was done, but that white was just too much white against that awesome foiled diagonal background. So I reached for the Gina K Designs Stars and Stripes foil mate backgrounds. And I hope that you love this background as much as I do. Just wait till I show you when it's done. I took that red foil once again, cut a piece to be slightly bigger than my foil mate background, added it onto my foil mates pretty side up, and ran that through my preheated laminator. And look at this. I just love working with foil mates and toner sheet backgrounds because the light catches the foil and it's just beautiful. So every time you turn this background, you're kind of seeing it in a different light. I went with the red because I thought that the Silver Stars Deco Foil Transfer Sheets overtook that background a little bit, and I lost the red. And I wanted to bring that back in, so that's why I went with red in the background. And here you can see, look at all that foil and shine from the 2 ways to create a foiled background. So I hope you've liked and you learned some things in this quick Valentine's card tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye!